Okay, we're back again. And first, what I forgot to mention in the last tutorial is that when you're importing those landscape layers, those textures you're importing needs to be also 180 degrees rotated. And well, yeah, I said the height map needs to be, and those layer info needs to be. So what is what is the thing that is the other way around? Well, it's the satellite image. Well, where do we see the satellite image? Uh, Not anywhere if we don't want, but in the beginning we many times want to see the satellite image where we place things, bridges, and maybe some separate trees or something like that. We want to see the satellite image, and that will be facing to the other direction. So it's 180 degrees rotated compared to these uh, alpha mask textures we're importing. So let's go through it first. I try to be quick, but I can't. I'm very sorry. My English isn't too good. But we have this landscape material. If we want to see the satellite image, we have this overlay image texture. This is just the texture we're repeating every 100 meters. But if we want to change this to the real satellite image, it's totally possible. And now if we check it, it looks very weird because this is repeating now the satellite image. Okay, we have the PCG stuff already. Okay, we take the grass off, and now you see it has the grass texture, but it has an overlay blend on top of it. So, and now we are wondering how we can have this in the right scale. Now it doesn't repeat. Okay, before I showed you that I have this size of a landscape, so maybe I should put it here. But because Unreal has centimeters, we need to change the comma point a little bit right. And now we got the real fairway. We have this now. In the fairway layer, we have this satellite image coming through, overlay blended. We see shadows. We see that our layer, our splining isn't fully accurate, or our layers. I didn't do this template with the 1 centimeter accuracy. I did it to prove it's possible to done and very quickly, and it's accurate enough. So, but it is very possible to use this satellite image if you want to, tune down your satellite image and use it as part of the texture. It's possible, and many golf course designers want it. For example, meadows. In meadow layers, you get the meadow colors. Also, to your 3D grass, we have the same option. The underlying texture here, you can have this overlay blend from satellite image, and of course to 3D grass also. When you have a middle layer and you have that grass color changing, long grass is the color is changing according to the satellite image. It's very natural looking many times. But so this will be 180 to the opposite direction. And if you import all those height map and those layer textures, if they are not 180 rotated, these things don't fit. They don't match. So satellite image is 180. Turn around comparing to the height map and those layer info textures. Now remember that You will be a little bit confused, but it's not more complex than that. Okay, let's change this back to 100 and two more zeros, and we go and take this, put it here, and we're back where we were. Okay, so that's about it. Then about this wind. When you have this wind, I said that you can rotate it here. So let's check that wind. Why we have two? This is our own, and you can see those arrows. Now they're facing to the same direction because each rotation is 0. If I put this 180, you can see it changed. So if you like this want your foliage and your golf flags wind direction to be same, then just use the same values, this and this, because PCG, if I put it on, now we don't have the hole in the landscape and we have this flag. Are you saying, oh, it doesn't turn anywhere, but still the foliage is having the wind? But if we press this or this is a little bit faster, and so we'll press it. So you will see. And if we go to the wind, this Unreal Engine wind is affecting this skeletal mesh, which has the cloud physics. So if we start rotating it, wind direction change about 180, and it's the other direction. So if you're creating a golf game, it's very convincing that when you change your wind direction, you can watch the flag where the wind is blowing. Just wanted to show it. And of course, when you increase the wind strength, here you can increase the wind strength. Okay, you see. For the flag, it's the speed setting. I would use only the speed setting. And when you go closer to 0, it starts going down. Okay, but when you have this setting, wind strength, for example, 2, you will start seeing quite much bending. And also you can see it in leaves many times. And when they are working to the same direction, I think it's quite convincing. It's it's nice. It's simulation, more accurate. So keep in mind, that's about wind. So let's go to the splines and PCG graphs. First of all, I said in the beginning that create these folders, splines and for PCG. Lighting we already have gone through. Add these folders, it will make automatically. So you just add those PCG volumes from this PCG folder. You don't need to add these discard points in Pambi areas. It's Epic's own, and we are using it to find out the best places for the golf holes. So you don't need to use this. You add no, you don't add this, and you don't add this the PCG crashes landscape. This is basically quite same as was in the crashes pack for the outer areas, not the course areas, for the meadow areas. But I wanted to give it to you, and also some grasses that we haven't used in this pack because this is all short grass, and then we have this forest area with the mulch. So this is for other kind of projects. So you don't need to add this unless you don't. Please, maybe you just I have disabled these, but just check them and press E key and they're good to go. But they're spawning much grass, so don't be a little bit careful when you add the grasses because to remind you that when you start from the beginning and now you drag your PCG volumes here, I have all them all in this same place, but when you can add them, but they start doing their work. And when you don't have splines, many of them will not do anything. But for example, if you have 8K resolution landscape with this mulch layer already, it will spawn quite much trees. Or if you have that PCG grasses landscape already here and it's spawning grasses to the 8K resolution landscape, it it takes time. So be careful at this point because this all these PCG graphs they are unbounded. They will spawn wherever there is landscape. If it says spawn grass to layer E, it will spawn to the whole landscape. And if it says spawn trees to the layer E, which is this mulch layer, it will spawn trees. So be a little bit careful. That's why we have a little bit smaller landscape here now. And maybe you should add these PCG volumes to your landscape before you have painted with at least the E layer, because or before you have any splines, because for example, this Georgia course has so much fairway area. It takes quite a long time to generate it all. So be careful how you use them, and always remember that it's wise to have all the PCG grass adjusted like this. Generate on demand and disable this box. Regenerate PCG volume in edit. Uncheck this and generate on demand. Of course, you need to remember to generate them when you have changed things, but it doesn't slow you down. You can do the modifications and then generate when you need. Okay, after you have placed these PCG volumes to your level, do that only generate on demand. That is that's the first thing. And then we can start looking what we can do with those. We have bunker lips, electric wire, fence, flag positions, flower bush lines, flowers, grasses, fairway grasses, gold. What are these doing? Of course, I have tried to put the name that tells something to you. But if we put these trees on off, sorry, for example, there is one spline in the middle of the road. And it uses tag road. So this road PCG searches spline called that has tag road, and then it will, when you generate it, it will make the road. And the other spline beside it is just a copy from this. You can press Alt and then just drag it a little bit to the side of the road, and that spline is wires, and its tags is wires. And when you put the right tag and generate electric wires, it immediately generates these poles with those wires. Sorry, my English. I don't know electric wires, electric poles, or whatever. But like this. So, so how you do the spline? Let's do it. Go to the modeling mode, and this is important. How would you select? Tangent track. This just creates points that are like this. We don't want this normally. So what we're gonna do? Click, click auto tangent. This is making round splines. Mostly we want them. Those epoxies are exception. We go through it. How we do it. That. Click auto tangent. I have chosen this align to previous up vector mode. I think this gives good results all the time. And then this ground planes, I uncheck it. And this is the basic setting, nothing more. Click auto tangent, align to previous, and uncheck ground planes. And then you just keep on keeping on, and then you accept it. Okay, now we have a spline. What then? Well, electric wires, fences, and road are basically quite same kind of. This could be fence, and we give it a tag of fence. Okay, nothing happened. Why? Because we need to generate the fence. We go here and we look for the fence, and here it is. We take this tag away and we generate. And there it is. Fence. It didn't take too many seconds. And of course you can use any kind of megascans, assets, whatever. But you know, see, this fence is quite, the logic is nice. It has some randomization. Not every pole is perfectly straight, or this length between the poles isn't exactly the same. That's just wanted. I could make this perfect, but we have put some randomization to this fence. But anyhow, you can see that these are straight, not according to the slope. This is nice fence and done in seconds. Like this. These wires are connected nicely to their places every time, and these are all so straight up, and you can change this uh, length between these wires, but they are done exactly this way. And when you spawn the road, the golf PCG takes it into account. So when you have these trees, they read the road spline, and there we have given the parameters to they stay away from the road. And of course you can adjust all those parameters. There are some PCG graphs that have better comments than others, but you will need to debug them yourself. Just select the point and put the press the D button and you know debug. But we have explained in some PCG graphs more how you how you adjust things. Okay, this could be fence. Okay, if we want it to be something else, or if we want to have it two functions at the same time, it's possible. We just add tag. For example, flower flower line, if I remember correctly. You can also always go to the PCG graph and check those splines. I will show you. But now I think we have those flower and bush lines, and we generate, and voila. Now we have fence that has flowers everywhere. Okay, maybe not what you probably want, but just telling that one spline can have many tags. Like, for example, this spline here, if I can select it. Well, mm, it's this. This spline actor, no grass rough. And I have wanted to say no grass rough because this is rough and it's in the rough area, but we have painted some mulch here. So it will get some, well, this spline has a tag no grass rough. It means no grass inside rough. So it makes nice edges, but takes grass, this rough grass away from there. Because we have wanted to paint this mulch, then we know there is some trees. So we have given also this trees tag. So it erases the grass, make nice edges inside the rough. We could have no grass fairway and it makes the right kind of edges in the fairway. And we have these trees. Okay, if I put these trees back on, no, we know that our logic spawns trees where there is mulch. So why do we need these trees? Well, we don't. We can take it off and generate trees again, like you saw. Now there's less trees because this comes from the mulch, and then if we have another tag like trees, it will create more trees. And we generate it again. So now it have both. And we use this spline to several purposes. Erasing the grass and spawning trees. We will have many kind of tags. And if you go like I could have a spline and say no trees into this mulch area and because it would spawn trees because mulch spawns trees. But I could say no trees and it wouldn't spawn any trees. And then I could select the trees or put some flowers there. Okay? Because sometimes we want mulch without trees. So everything is taken care of. And maybe we can draw some splines just to, check what they do. Well, accept. No grass fairway. And a tag. No grass fairway. Sorry. And if we now generate this grass, we can see that we don't have grass here. And it has nice edges. It's like green. But if we would say it's a green, then if we generate flag positions, there would be flag because we would say it's green. So, but we can basically do anything. We can say no grass here, no trees here, or we want to say we want trees here, we want fence here, we want flowers here. Okay, no grass fairway. And if we want to have something more like trees, and then we would have flowers. It's all possible, but we have to, you know, generate trees again. Okay, and then we have flowers. We generate them again. And now we have flowers, trees, and no grass. Well, I don't know. You can see that there isn't any grass anymore, but anyhow, you can see here. But just trying to show you that we can have about anything by drawing splines. And when we go and check, for example, grasses, golf, and fair, I have to, I don't know if I told you in the first tutorial, but the golf PCG, I have split it to two PCG graphs. Just you can take the fairway off in seconds, okay? In the real project, I have partitioned also these golf grasses. Like if you say partition, if you press this is partitioned, I recommend warmly do it with the grasses because golf course is a large area. There is much grass, so you need to partition the grass. I don't think you need to do it in anything else, but do it with with grass. Then you will have two objects under this world actor, PCG world actor, and when you want to, hide the grasses, then you just press this eye icon concerning that. Okay, but well, don't do it if you don't need it, but with grasses you should do it definitely. Okay, just wait a second.
Tee tutoriaalia, että voi olla sit hiljaa, kiitos.
Okay, well, just my family coming in, so I just was warning them. Excuse me.
Voitteko olla sit hiljaa, kun mä yritän tehdä tutoriaalia, mulla on tässä.
Okay, I think my wife is at the phone. So let's continue. Okay, what about the splines that are rectangle? It's a little bit different case if you want to, because spawning around them is a little bit difficult. That's one thing, but I also wanted to show you that I have split these, and if you want to hide the fairway, because it's split, it's easy to hide, and I have partitioned the fairway and the other grass, and that's because you don't want to load all the grass to memory at the same time because you're only seeing them 50 to 200 meters depending on if it's fairway or if it's a rough grass or so. So okay, and if you're watching the grasses stuff and you're wondering what kind of tags you have, you just come to the beginning. It always have these get spline data nodes, and there you have already the tag bunker fairway. So it's searching the tagged bunker fairway, and this is the green spline, and this is no grass in fairway, and so on. And fairway spline, tee spline, bunker spline. But because in this golf course there are bunkers in fairway areas, we need to have this bunker fairway also. But you can come here and check what kind of splines we are tags we are using in the splines. So for example, road, you come here, okay, it's only road, we have a road spline. Surprise, surprise. And of course, you can always go to the splines and type tag, and then you will see what uh, what is the tag it's using. But there are many options. But one thing you have to remember when you are, we already went through how you draw a spline, and if you're drawing the round spline that is looped, you just loop it in the end of the process when you're modeling mode, draw spline, and then at the last thing you connect the spline. If you have a looped spline, you press the loop and then apply. But with T-boxes, if you want to have it spawn crosses correctly, make it a little bit larger than the T-box because of this. I have made it a little bit different because of this. It can be also this rectangle shape. And to have the tangents right, you need to do it like this. I do another one beside this to show you. Okay, you will begin with the perfectly same settings. Click auto tangent and align the previews and so on. And you start from about this point, like this, and then you change tangent drag, and you put the corner point, and the corner point, and the corner point, and the corner point, and then you loop. Okay, and accept. Okay, now you see it wasn't perfect. I can modify it a little, but just that is just a learn process. How you will not have if you're watching a debug these graphs and watch what kind of debug it spawns. There will be tangents facing wherever, but when you start doing T-spline, first click auto tangent first points and then change the tangent drag, and then last you will loop it, and then you just name it to T. Okay, let's check it out. If we, okay, I'll just name it and give it a tag T. Of course, the T-box can be round shape, but because it supports this kind of rectangle shape, I've needed to spawn it in the middle of the spline. All the other splines are at the edge of this course area, not spawning in the middle of the spline. But this is the only exception because of these rectangle boxes. Okay, we have this tag D now, but now it happened what I have told you. I had the one point selected and there is no T tag, so I need to do it again. Okay, I, I think we have it now. Okay, and then we generate crosses golf again. And what we see now is we have a place, and then now you're wondering, okay, it did erase the rough, but it doesn't have this fairway, of course, because we have this grass's fairway separated. We have this grass spawning into PCG graph. So we have to generate it also. And now it is generating, already generated the fairway grass to the tee box. Of course, this is not even this isn't perfectly flat, but LiDAR data is what it is. And of course, you can flatten these with the paint tool very easily and very fast. And, I've done some work in the real project. But this is the way you can do a rectangle tee boxes and round tee boxes. You do exactly as you do every other spline, round shapes. Little bit, you're gonna 25 centimeters outside the area, and it will spawn to the right place also. Okay, I think you got the point here. So if we want some flowers here, let's do some examples. Still one example, then let's go to the water. One more spline, draw spline. Now we have this tangent track. We'll need outer tangent, and if we want some flower area, here it is. Flowers one. It's wise to keep the number also, but now I'm just this tutorial. So, but when we have this selected, let's put the tag and flowers, and go to the flowers and generate, and there we are. Flowers, nicely. And let's put one more tag to the spline. Oh, now maybe flower bush line. Hopefully it's right. I'm not totally sure if that was the right name. Let's check it out. Generate. Yeah, it was right. So now I also generated some flower bushes to the spline, on spline, not inside. So you can have separate splines and give different tags, and you can basically generate whatever. You can change the parameters in the PCG graphs. Everything is done very fast. And when, for example, if you have this mulch area everywhere, but you don't want the forest somewhere, you want to build houses there, you just do one spline here and say no trees. And then it will erase trees from there. Easy as that. Of course, you can have some other landscape layer there, paint that, and it only spawns to the mulch area and inside tree splines. So uh, this is as easy as that. And you have to understand also that there is much logic. The logic inside those PCG graphs, it takes, when you have a road, it knows when this road is in a rough area, it erases the rough area because it could grow on top of it. And at the beside of the road, it spawns nicely rough grass beside the roads, because when it erases, the edge isn't nice, and then it gives you nice rough edges. When the road is in rough, when the road isn't in rough, it's on top of the grass, so it doesn't matter. And on the mulch area, it looks stupid if it spawns grass beside it. There is much logic in these PCG graphs. So, for example, here is bunker lips. There is bunker lips, and there is grass. And also, if you don't want to use bunker lips, here are the you disable these, and then you use just grass. So when you do golf areas, you need to also do the bunker lip, generate these bunker lips. Let's go away from the spline drawing. Mm, Flag positions. There you can see that it's a little bit special spline because mm, okay, this is the only spline, only PCG volume you need to clean up first. So in our original project, it said clean up. That is something you should remember. When you are regenerating flag positions, always regenerate. Like it says here, generate this PCG graph manually from details panel and always clean up before generating it again. If cleanup is not done, ground lowering under the whole mess keeps on going lower and doesn't give the wanted result. So first clean up, then generate. If you want to change the auto-generate flag positions, go to random choice node and change the seed value. Then clean up and generate it again. Always clean up. And this is the random choice. So you change the seed value here. You can save it also. And when I generate this again, I have to do the cleanup. Now you see it disappears. I generate it and it will not be in the same position when it generates again. And now you see there is quite many tasks. It first examines a little because there is those pumpy area stuff it goes through. It's a little bit heavy, but after it goes through it, then everything happens very fast. Now it's another area, and this is working fine. It finds area there is not too much slope. It's not too in the edge of the green or something like that, and it's flat enough to position the golf hole. So there is nice logic in that also. Also, no, well, there is much logic. There is those flower and bush lines, flowers inside the spline. Grasses, fairway, grasses, golf. These are the golf grasses mostly. Of course, you need to do the bunker lips. They have also the bunker lip grass, so it does. You have to always generate it. Also, this is just for you to have if you want to have a project like the digit grasses, the other area with the meadow area. This is one choice, of course. This is working to that purpose also, but we just don't have spawned grasses to those mulch areas. PCG hazards we will go through when we add water to this level. The road we already saw. Tee positions. Oh, that is one thing I want to show you. And you already saw the trees. Okay, you saw how you do this plan, but you didn't see how to do the T positions. Okay, let's go to this first T, and we have the blueprints, and we have these T markers. We want to have, for example, red T. Here we just place it here, and then we watch where it's facing, and we rotate it facing. Let's take it back. I want to have, okay, okay, maybe it was, sorry. Let's just move it like this. We just make that little spline as long or as short as we want. It will spawn the T markers beside it. You can adjust it in the PCG graph. Okay, now we see two things. It's about aiming to the right direction. That's good. But we also see that it's not in the middle. So let's change its position about in the middle. Okay, and we go a little bit back and even make it a little longer. So now we have it, and after we go T positions and generate it, now we see it put it in the back this time. But even if we change a little bit this settings and generate it again, well, it didn't change it now. I don't know why, but okay, let's go to the PCG T boxes, T positions, sorry. And we had red T, random choice. We changed the random choice and generate, as you see, it's moving. And when you are, sorry, for example, I change a little bit its position and generate the T again. It, it changes the position, but it's random, and it can't go further than that and closer to the flag than this, but it will spawn beside it to the direction you're aiming this blueprint actor. And same thing with all the T's. Of course, you would have a white, yellow, blue, red, but there is quite few T boxes golf, in this golf course from Georgia. So, but this is the way, and you already maybe saw, but didn't only spawn these markers, it spawned kind of divot marks as well. And these are also randomized. It doesn't come always like this. They can be here and here or whatever on top of each other a little bit or something. But it gives a little nice realism. So it's automated. Okay, that's about the T boxes and T markers. That's what you have to know about that. And about the pin positions you already saw. And you need to have a spline that is called green, and it will spawn flag always inside the green spline. Okay, then we have water hazard, but we don't have water. And one more thing about when you add that PCG graph and generate first time, because this modificate is doing modifications to the landscape, it asks you if it can add layer patches to your landscape. So don't be troubled when it says it, because here you can see, sorry, patches. It asks if it can add a patches layer to landscape. Just just press the OK button or whatever there, or apply, or whatever it says. Don't change anything. Let it do it, because it's in the different layer when it modifies the landscape. And now when we add the water, it asks the same question. So if I now go and add water, I type water here, and there is kind of a river shape. It's not a river, but anyhow we can try to use it. Body river, water body river. Okay, we take this, and now it asks. Okay, it's a complete button. Drag drop the water layer in the list to choose where in the edit layer stack it should be inserted. Insert new landscape edit layer. This is exactly the landscape edit layer. So we have already the layer and we have already the patches, which I have added already, but now we just complete. And after that, it preparing some shaders. Sorry for my English, this is really hard for me. Uh, Now we go back to the landscape and we see we have water and we have patches and we have those original layers. So the layer was first for those normal painting, then is patches to modify the landscape for the flag positions and hiding the landscape under the road or something. Maybe it doesn't need it, but anyhow, those pin positions they need. And then we have this water. We don't use that layer because I don't want to give it. When you add the river, it it normally affects landscape. I don't know why it doesn't affect now. That's a little bit weird. Well, I don't want it to affect the landscape, but normally it does. And first thing you have to do when you add the water body, type landscape or something and take this off. If you don't want to use it, I don't want to use it. Now maybe this is just better to point to a different direction, just we get some water here. And this now, is kind of landscape spline and it's much harder to control than those modeling mode splines. So that's why I want to use those modeling mode splines. But let's just do quickly some water here. And because this is a river body, we can lower it in different points. Okay. This is good enough, for example, and when you have this selected and you select all the points and water width, maybe 3000, and you can no adjust. This is the river width, so it's Now it's 3,000, whatever, 30 meters wide from everywhere, or something like that. I don't know if this is in centimeters. Anyhow, now we have water, and now the landscape is looking like in our own golf course, the map you got with the package. So these layers come patches and water when you add water or you add those flags to the green. Okay, now it's the same because we are wanting to do all the things that is done in the package. And now you want to mark this with water hazard marks. So this is kind of side water. So let's do spline modeling, draw spline, click out the tangent, and then you just go around this water. Of course, you can do it much better. Oh, sorry. Accept. Okay, we have that spline. Let's say it's water and give it a tag. Water and side. If we just leave water, it's the red markers and red line. And now we go to the hazards and press generate. And there it is. And inside this hazards, you can, these are the lines. So if you just press E button, enabled or disabled, and then it generates some decals there. So that's why there are these folders. Where was the hazard here? And generated again, you see the line disappeared and it's only the poles. Or if you want vice versa, you just enable these, take the poles off. These are water side and out of bounds. So, and now you have only the drawing like there is sometimes in the PGA competitions or something like that. Whatever you want, or just you don't want them, don't use them, or just disable them, or whatever. But you have these options, and we make them once again. And if we want to use the different, where is my water? Sorry, I'm blind. If we want to have them yellow, just water, and then regenerate it. And now we have yellow. And if you have tag out, you will have the out markers and line. So, okay, we're coming to an end, I think. I think there is so much to say. This is frustrating because English doesn't come naturally from me, and it's a little bit hard. But I try to be myself and try to tell how I've done it things, and I think it's better to try than not to do anything. Okay, this was the blueprint, the markers. Yes, I'm just going through if there's anything I haven't said. Very important thing is those flag positions. Remember to clean up and then regenerate the flowers, fences. So fences and roads and stuff come, just make a simple spline and you will have it. In 1 second, in a few seconds, you will have flowers all around here. If you want to do a flower line or a flower area, whatever you want. It's easy. And so now you know how these holes come to the green. You need only the green tag spline, spline with the green tag, and you have to generate this flag position. Now you know that this needs the blueprint. T-box itself only does the grass cuts. You have to, of course, after making a T-spline, you have to run those grass is fairway and grass is golf, and then you place this blueprint and generate the T markers or whatever it was. T positions, sorry. And you will get the T markers and T splines. Okay, I hope I have gone through all the important things. There is, I think, some more folders in the real project, but you can leave them static meshes. For example, you want to place bridges and stuff like that, and do your own art. But mostly, if you learn how to do those textures to import landscape layers and import, most importantly, the height map and the satellite image, it gives you the base to start creating courses. When you have these layers imported, you can basically already almost, if you have a golf game, to start to play, because all these layers, landscape layers, they have physics already. So you only need one tip added to per hole, and you need the spline around the green and add the tag green and generate the flag positions, and basically you're good to go. And if you want to see one more thing, we were in blueprints and we have golf ball here, golf ball blueprint. We okay, it's not even close to the hole. Now it's close. Okay, we can play a little bit and see how the physics work. So we have golf ball, and then, but you need to, yeah, so it first hit the edge, then the flagstick, and then went in. And when we go and check it, there it is. And if we go check it from because we are just simulating, well, now we can go through the colliders, and here it is. And this flag is nicely done. It's in the hole nicely, and all the colliders and stuff are working perfectly. Okay, let's do this again. And you will see that winds and everything is a little bit affecting, so it doesn't always work exactly the same. No? Well, now it did. It doesn't always. Now it's placed, so many times we got different results. This time it doesn't, but quite convincing anyhow. This is the demo effect that it gives always the same result, but most often it doesn't. Okay, that was weird. I think it hit the edge of the. Yeah, now it, and now a little bit further. It doesn't hit the cup at all, so it doesn't bounce much. Just to show you that it really works. Okay, and we have a nice golf ball also. Okay, now we have played the ball in the cup and we are happy. This all can be done in few days. I mean, not only this one hole, but 18 holes. If you learn to do those layered textures, those alpha masks, well, then you import. Okay, splining takes some time, and if you we didn't go through these course areas, but it's the same. Let's just check it out quickly. We have splines, fairway spline, it's this, and then we have semi-rough spline, it's this, and it does all the grass areas. You see, this has a longer cut, this semi-rough. In this Georgia course, there is no semi-rough. This is just done for the demo purposes. So you will see that we have, sorry, the camera is too fast. We have this rough grass that is swaying in the wind. Then we have this longer semi-rough grass, and we have fairway grass, and then no grass in the greens. And so this is a little bit tricky to make, that semi-rough part, but I think we have done it well. So this were the most important ones. And this is the green spline, and it has the green dog. And this is the bunker underscore FW, so it's bunker fairway. And these are also bunker fairway tags. And when you want to have these lips, you need to generate bunker lips. It also already contains contains these crosses beside around the bunker. Okay, what else? Sorry, I wanted to be faster and more clear, but and then there is this rough spline surrounds this all. It doesn't go like this in this Georgia course we have given in this package. We filled the whole landscape with rough, and then we imported first fairway layer, then the mulch layer, and then the green layer, and then the bunker layer. And that's the way we did it. And these weren't perfect, and there were some things missing, but then we just tweaked a little with just the painting tool. We have the nice blends in our material, so it's it's it doesn't need to have everything perfect when you import, but it sure easiest makes your job easier. So sorry this took so long. Hope you still understood what I'm trying to say. And one more thing, this water is the wrong color, like I told you before, because it's using the normal water material. It's this river, and it's the wrong, it's the engine. So if you want to use hours, then you go to the materials and instances and take this river, water material river modification, modified it means. And then you select this. And now it's a little bit like, or because this isn't the deep water, that's why it's quite light. But now it's the same settings as in our Georgia course. And as you see, this line has been made with decals that are spawned with the PCG graph. So I've and this hole is one hole from the Georgia course. Just made some differences. And I've painted this with multi-layer. Then I have done a spline, and this spline has few tags: trees and no grass, rough. So inside graph area it makes these nice rough edges, but erases the grass inside. So we can basically do anything. And when we spawn trees, we also have these falling leaves. It's done with the Niagara effect, and then there is a blueprint actor, and then PCG handles the rest. Of course, everything you can modify in the PCG graphs. Where we have many trees, there is places where are falling leaves also. And then there is these leaves in the ground also, and you can see the wind is affecting those. But if we have this kind of modeled leaf, the wind isn't affecting. We have few of these single leaves, but it's okay because we are not using world position offset there, only to these modeled leaves. And all the foliage is modeled, fully geometric, so it's very, like you see, it it's very performant. Okay, hopefully now we're done. Hopefully you will buy the package and see that you have a need for it, and you can use it for your own purposes. Hopefully somebody makes the very nice golf simulation software and sees that the community can use this template as a part of the golf course modeling. So you will get something from this, and I will get this package sold for as many users as possible and keep on creating the idea and stuff like that. Okay, thank you very much for watching, and maybe see you in next time with the next package. Okay, bye bye. Have a nice weekend or whatever, evening, morning, whatever time you're watching. Okay, see you later. Bye bye.